I'd say I think it's invaluable to have a friend who
Yes.
is a good sounding board for you, and it's not necessarily the person you're closest to in life. We're privileged that we've been friends for so long, but um, the people that love you most when you're telling them your idea are often trying to process it and how they preserve your feelings, your
Right.
relationship. But a real professional friend, one who respects you, isn't trying to take over your story, but is trying to tell you honestly what
Yeah.
he or she
It's
feels.
harder than you'd think to tell
Yes.
somebody honestly, go, you know, I have a friend who also reads my stuff, and he has a code word. I had this feature that I wrote.
I don't want to guess what the code word.
No. I'll tell you. And I had this feature I wrote, and I set it up at this company called Gold Circle, and I was doing some rewrites, and there was a director attached to it, and it seemed pretty promising. And I let my friend read it, and his response was, "It's not your best effort," you know. And it surprised me because he and I are usually on comedic things. We're very much in tune, but so whenever he says that to me, I know what it means. But it's like you can't. You're not doing your friends any favor by telling them something that's not true.
And one thing that's, to me,
Like if I told him he was good looking, that would not be wrong. That would be wrong, because he'd let it get to his head. And
yeah, and I would worry about your intentions. The one of the most powerful things to me about a collaboration, a real creative friendship, is that your friend is not always telling you where you've gone wrong. Um, when I gave Jack an early draft of Braveheart, and I thought the thing wasn't working, and I knew I liked it, but I didn't think anyone else would. And we sat down to talk, and he looked at me and said, "I think this is the best thing you've ever written." And I was completely shocked.
yeah, I
And
remember that.
and
The Express.
the fact of that says to me, your friends sometimes can save you from your doubts. There's a story that Tennessee Williams was going to throw away his greatest line. "I've always depended on the kindness of strangers." And a friend of his said, "What happened to that great line you had?" And Tennessee Williams said, "Oh, it didn't work. I threw it out." And he said, "Well, put it back in." Same with "Hey Jude" and the Beatles. They had a line that McCartney said, "I'm going to throw that one away," and Lennon said, "No, you're not." So oftentimes you've got to have a friend who's bold enough and actively positive enough and appreciates your stuff enough to be able to say you're on the right track. That's powerful.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know your audience when you're collaborating, because sometimes, you have to know the person. But when you're working like on a TV show and you talk to the network, it typically they get right into, okay, fix this, do that, change this wasn't working. And what Randy taught me was, you look at the positives first, because there are positives. You don't just go right into the negative, so that they see what is working and what isn't. But I remember Braveheart because I didn't have a note until like page 75. I wrote nothing down. And I think I still have that script, if I'm not mistaken. But
He's tried to sell it a number of times.
yeah, and you'd be surprised at how little I'm getting offered.
Yeah.
But I felt the same way about Flying Tigers too.
Yeah.
It just was like it was flying, no pun intended, through like the first 70, 75 pages.